years. So today I will present to you what is data engineering, what is data science, and what is data analysis. So shall we get started?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I hope it is visible.
Yes, sir.
No, don't call me sir. I'm actually more like your friend because we're not very far from. You might be 22. I'm 24. Okay. So let's start. So what is big data? Big data is see, we all have laptops, right? So what's the maximum data a laptop can store? It can be 1 terabyte, it can be 2 terabytes. But big data is it starts from 50 terabytes. So it can go to 1,000 terabytes, 2,000 terabytes. So we can't store it in a traditional laptop or server for that matter. So we have to use distributed systems uh, and distributed technologies. Like we have to use multiple servers of that data and link them all together. So what we're going to study in this presentation is how to handle big data. Why should we even learn big data in the first place? Does it have any future? Okay, so let's get started. Big data refers to vast amounts of structured and unstructured data. It's too complex and large for traditional data management tools to handle. Right? Traditional data management tools like you all might know Excel. Excel can't handle more than I think it's around some GBs of data. So distributed systems along with technologies like Hadoop and Spark are used for storage processing. Okay, so we will learn more about these technologies, Hadoop and Spark, in the later slides. Okay, so the big question, why is big data important? Big data, see, imagine a company like Amazon. It has a huge amount of data, right? It can use that data to make strategic decisions like, for example, this country buys more, so we should invest more in that country. So this decision can be helped by the help of big data and predictive analytics drives future trends. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Okay, so this is a chart. Fastest growing tech occupations year over year growth. So data engineering is actually growing 50% every year, and you can also see backend developers, DevOps engineers. So it is like data is a new oil, right? It is the future. Data scientists also are also up there, and so I think you should see into it. So what are the big data roles? So we have like many different roles for big data, data scientists, data engineers, and data analysts. Sometimes we confuse each of them for the same role, but they're very different. So let's understand data scientists first. So they analyze data to create predictions. You might have heard about machine learning. So data scientists are very much aligned to machine learning. So there are also machine learning engineers. These two work together pretty much all of the time. So this career is perfect for you if you're passionate about building predictive models. All right. So next is data engineers. They build and manage data pipelines. So what is a data pipeline in the first place? It is basically a structure. Like you will have many sources of data. You have to align them together and you have to store them in a particular format. So it's basically a pipeline. Just imagine a water pipe. You're flowing the data and it's getting stored into a tank or some huge big storage system. Okay, so this carrier is perfect for those who enjoy coding, cloud and backend data workflows. All right. So the last but not the least, it is data analysts. They interpret data for business insights, and yeah, this carrier is perfect for those passionate about uncovering actionable insights. So the business strategic decisions about Amazon, these guys are very, they're the key role that do this. Okay, next, data scientists. So these are like the drivers who use the car to reach their destination with data-driven decisions. So if we imagine a racetrack, these guys are the drivers. They are the race car drivers. So they drive innovation and strategies based on data, and the skills required by them is maths, programming, statistics. These three are very important for data scientists. Like you can not have statistics and math for data engineers, but this is the key skills. All right. Okay. For a data scientist, a typical workday includes accessing and understanding the data from the pipeline, which might involve data cleaning, pre-processing, and explanation. So basically, data itself is not one thing. It's like it has many different forms. It can be structured, it can be unstructured, it can be semi-structured. So data scientists have to use those different forms of data and make a decision out of them in the end. So yeah, building and testing models. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you all must be very, intrigued by machine learning models because at this college days, even we had the same machine learning. We all had internships where we use machine learning models. So, yeah, so data scientists are very near to that and collaborating with data engineers to ensure the data is formatted correctly and updated as needed for the models to work efficiently. So usually what happens is in a business scenario is that data scientists, data engineers and data analysts, they work together. Like we all have different roles, but we know what the other person is doing, what his role is. So it's like a synergy. Okay. Next, the tools that data scientists use are SQL. Okay, yeah. SQL and Python, everybody uses them, all those roles. Data analysts, data engineers, and data scientists, they all use SQL and Python. So, in case if you get interviewed for a big data role, basically, you have to first learn SQL, then Python. These are the two main rules. Sorry, two main skills. Okay, and next is Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn. These are for data visualization. Panda is for data cleaning, and Scikit-learn and TensorFlow. These are basically for the machine learning algorithms, for the model making, for training and setting the data. And yeah, and last but not the least, machine learning algorithms. Uh, if you have any questions in between, you can straight out stop me and ask. It's fine. Like I would like this to be a discussion rather than me talking every time. So if you have any questions, does anybody have any questions for till now? Okay, I'm expecting nobody has questions. Python versus R. Okay, very nice question, Tarun. Actually, the demand for Python is more. If you compare Python and R, there are more job roles and openings for Python. Like I think more than 5 to 6 times or even more. But R is also good if you're like very much into data modelings. Like uh, if you're into heavy machine learning algorithms, then R is good. But if you just want a job, then Python is best. DSA needed, yeah. This is actually a very good question. See, so I'll tell you some experiences, okay? Uh, for an Amazon software engineer role, SDE role, there's medium to hard questions. There are many rounds, but the questions that they ask from lead code, you might know, DSA questions, medium to hard. But for data engineers, they don't ask hard questions. And the pay gap is not very different, it's almost the same for the same years of experience. So, for Amazon interviews or for any product based company, you have to be very good at SQL. Like till Windows function, you can write it down because that till Windows function is very important. And you have to know Python and you have to know some big data technology like Spark, Hive, Hadoop, but mostly they are Spark. So that question is there. TSA is important if you want to go to product based companies. For startups and service based companies, TSA is not required. They won't even ask. They won't even ask for Spark. They might ask for data engineering tools. If any other questions, you can just ask me like this. I'm happy you guys are asking. Okay. So we should do DSA with data analysis tools. Uh, Actually, never stop doing DSA because DSA is it will help you everywhere and anytime. Even after 10 years, DSA will be helping you. So don't stop doing DSA. Should maths be learned independently before learning ML? Okay, or can it be learned? If you just want to play around with the libraries, Panda libraries like SkySet you don't need that deep maths. You have to know algebra and the basic maths we had till 12th, but it is not necessary. But if you want to go deep into deep learning and you actually want to be successful in this industry, you have to know statistics. There is no other way. Um, okay, are there data science roles for freshers or just data analyst roles? Okay, so this is a tricky one actually. Usually there are data analyst roles for freshers, usually like 75%. I'm not sure about the numbers, don't get me on that. But there are few openings for data engineering and data science roles. But if you have internships, then you can definitely apply for data science roles. But try to get an internship. If you if they're not even paying it, still it's a very good opportunity, to get that internship and then show that in your resume. They will allow you. Because even now I'm seeing some jobs for data science roles for 0 to 4 years of experience. So it's not that it's not for freshers, it is for freshers, but not that much. Okay. If any other questions, I'm happy you guys are asking, and I'll just continue. You can ask me anytime, okay? Data engineers. Okay. So, yeah, if data scientists are the drivers, then data engineers are the car manufacturers. They build and maintain the car, ensuring the engine. Yeah, so this is like I just made this up, but you can really see the correlation. If data engineers are the drivers, then these guys, they make the pipelines which feed the data for them to perform machine learning predictions. So, what is the most important thing in a machine learning prediction? It is the data, right? You can't do that without the data. So, if you want terabytes of data, these guys will provide you that data, and they work on ETL, extract, transform, load. So if you're into big data, you will see this term everywhere. It's like literally everywhere. Extract, transform, load. Extract means getting the different sources of data. Transform means like transforming the data into usable forms, like cleaning and doing all those transform functions. And then loading the data into wherever you want to load it. If you want to feed it into a data model, you will load it into a data model for the data scientist to work on. But you can also give the data analyst that data, and he can perform strategic decisions on it using BI tools like Power BI. Okay. Skills required, programming. Yeah. These three fields, if you compare them, the most programming that is involved is in data engineers. So these guys, they use command skill. They code all the time. And if you're into coding, this is a good field for you. Big data and cloud. So cloud is not mandatory, but it is actually very important. Consider it mandatory. Okay. So this is data engineering ingestion. So what I just told you, right? ETL. So these are the different data sources, APIs, databases, CSV files, or any file, Hadoop, HDFS storages. So we ingest this data, different forms of data, streaming data, batch data, and this CDC data. So what happens here is, see, what is streaming data? Streaming means you might have Netflix with you guys. So streaming means which is on the flow, continuous data. So that, and batch data is like the data which you had 1 month before you. Like it is a huge amount of data, but it is not continuous. It is historical basically. You transform it and you give it to either to data scientists who will perform data science or AI ML, or business intelligence and analytics to data analytics. Sorry, to data analysts, they will perform these things. Okay. So yeah, for a data engineer, a typical workday includes designing, building, and maintaining data pipelines, uh, ensuring data quality by cleaning, transforming, and structuring data for efficient storage and retrieval, and monitoring and troubleshooting pipelines. Yeah, so basically, data engineers, they just work to get the data, and they like what do we call it? They get it from the source, they do some transformation, and they feed it to the data scientists or data analytics. Sorry, data analysts. Okay. And last but not least, collaborating. So if you're working in big data, collaborating should you should know how to talk to other teams because you guys work together basically. You three are a unit. Okay. We always want to have good quality data. How can we have good data sets? Okay. Very nice question, Tarun. So, see, if you want to have good predictions, you have to have good data. So basically, if you want to have good data, the world doesn't work like that. We have to create good data. So we already have so many different forms of data. It can be normal text files. You will have to perform some functions on them and create them into usable data. It should be tangible. So that is the work for data engineers. You can do it by either tools like Snowflake or you can use Spark. If you want to go to product-based companies, Spark is a must. Note that if you want to go with this. Okay. So widely used technologies and tools for data engineers. SQL, it is mandatory. I put a star here. Python or Scala. These two are also mandatory, either Python or either Scala. Okay. And Hadoop ecosystem, Apache Spark. You can have one cloud provider. It can be any one of these. Azure, GCP, AWS. Usually AWS has more roles, more job openings, but now I'm seeing Azure having more. So you can learn either of those, to be honest with you. They're very similar. If you know one, you can learn another in 1 week. It's like a programming language. Okay, data warehousing, Snowflake. Okay, so what is data warehousing? Okay, what is the data warehouse in the first place? You might know what is a database. Data warehouse is like it is a warehouse basically for how do I say it? Okay, so data warehouse is like a storage unit for different forms of data. You can access it anytime, and it will be structured. It basically stores the historical data. You can put it that way. And ETL tools, Ab initio, Informatica, yeah, and Unix. Okay, last but not the least, data analysts. They're like navigators who interpret data to guide decision making. They translate data into actionable insights to shape business strategies. So these guys are very close to the clients, to the decision makers, to the stakeholders basically. So it is not a bad field. You should not see data analyst as a bad field because it is not that close to coding, but it also pays well in the long run. And yeah, skills required are statistics, business intelligence, data visualization, SQL, Excel, and storytelling. So yeah, you might see here itself that they are not coding that much, but if you know advanced SQL, then coding is tough. Advanced SQL is actually tough. Okay, so what data analysts do is they create these dashboards using tools like Power BI and Tableau. So these dashboards they don't have to be static. They usually are dynamic. Like these are very helpful for the business decision makers to get a strategic decision out of. Yeah. A typical workday includes, for a data analyst, collecting and analyzing data, cleaning, transforming, and organizing raw data, creating visualizations and reports, collaborating with the data engineer to ensure data is available, accurate, and structured properly. Uh, One of the soft skills you need to have for any of this role is collaborating. You will have to talk to them. It is almost mandatory. Yeah, widely used technologies and tools, SQL, data visualization, Power BI, Tableau. You can also have a good knowledge on NoSQL databases, MongoDB, Cassandra. These also help you in full stack roles. MongoDB, you might have heard of it. Excel, Python, field of consulting. Yeah, you can section. Okay, so that's all. It was a short slideshow. I hope you're not bored. So, okay, MongoDB. Okay, so Tarun, you might know about unstructured data, structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So usually what happens is Mongo versus SQL. Okay, so usually if we have structured data, we can just use SQL. But if we have semi-structured and unstructured data, we can't use that columnar format or table format for that to say, we have to use something as called as key pair. Just write it down. So what happens is you make a key, you attach different data which is relatable to that key, and then you can search. You might know about JSON files. It's very similar to that. So what happens is you access a key, and then what you do is you access another key into that key, and with dot notation, and you can get that data that you want with dot notation or bracket notation. We have two of those for MongoDB. But if you want to learn MongoDB in deep, you can use their free open source MongoDB website. Okay, so sir, what skills do you? Okay, don't call me sir. What did you learn for your first job? Okay, uh, so in Infosys, they did not ask me TSA. Uh, they asked me some, it was basically you can call it an IQ test, but much lower than that. They asked me maths questions, some statistics questions, and communications questions. But then inside, when you go to Infosys, you have the opportunity to upgrade your role with DSA. So DSA it will help you everywhere. I'm being honest with you. Okay. So if you ask me what skill did I learn for my first job, it was SQL and Java. At that time, I only knew Java, SQL, and web development. But they did not give me the role for web development. They gave me for data engineering. So if you're going to a service-based company, you should be prepared that they won't give you the role for your choice. They can give you any role that is in the industry at that time. So okay, any other questions or any question that I did not answer, I could not answer you properly. Okay. Okay, is web development oversaturated now, or there are still jobs in web development? Okay, actually, one of my best friends, he's working in this front end development, and it is not saturated as of now. And he actually has a very good package. I will not reveal it, but to be, I can understand the AI hype. It is like everybody is in fear that these jobs are they're going to vanish in the next some years. But honestly, it is not the case. Uh, Especially if you're a full stack developer. If you want to go with web development, you should go it. It's not end of the world, but I would suggest you to go for software engineering roles because these are more flexible. Like if you're a software engineer in a company, they will not fire you if web development gets saturated. They will give you another role. They can make you data engineer. They can make you DevOps engineer. So apply for software engineering roles. Okay. I hope this answered. So which pays more, analyst or engineer? Uh, okay. So as a fresher engineer, for sure, in your mid career, in your intermediate career for 3 to 5 years of experience, also engineer. But after 8 years, it gets tricky. If you're a very good data analyst and you have all those networks, then you can be comparable, or if not more. Okay. In data analysis, is smart piece software used in industry? Okay. I don't think it is used that much, but maybe that's because I have not heard of it. Smart piece. Can you just search it up? Okay. Complex modeling tasks. Okay. No, I'm not sure about this. But if you want to uh, make your career good in data analysis, then I think you should go for Power BI or Tableau. and you should have good knowledge on Excel also, and you should be a good storyteller. That's actually the most important. You can learn Power BI in 2 days. I'll be honest with you. Um, is AI interfering in this industry? No. In this big data industry, you can't trust AI. Just imagine an AI you give it, like, just imagine you're a company like Amazon or any company for that matter, and you give it 10,000 terabytes of data. You won't even know what wrong happened there. So this industry is actually very AI proof. That's why it's growing also, I think. Um, what are, okay, agentic AI. So I think you're talking about the agents that we have in AI. So yeah, data science. So data scientists, they don't do these types of work. They don't engage in agents. They usually just engage in machine learning models and data science statistics, all that good stuff. What kind of resume we need to make? Okay, Darshani, just tell me which company are you talking about? Product based, service based, or any whatever you're talking about? Just mention it. Okay. In this generation of AI, what kind of job roles are getting saturated day by day? Okay. So the first kind of role that I would say is it is front end engineers and anything that requires UI because AI can literally replicate UIs for you. It's not going to be saturated in the coming 4 or 5 years, I think. But if you want to have your career future proof, I think you should search for those careers which have more responsibility in it. Like the roles which you can't trust AI to do it for you, like backend. If you're a backend engineer, you can use AI to be fast, but you can't give the whole backend to AI. You can be full stack, but the best role I would suggest you is software engineer. It's like the most AI proof role, honestly speaking. And it requires DSA. Every company will ask you for DSA. Okay. Um, Comparatively, if I want a non-tech job, then should I choose data analytics? Yeah, for sure, you should. It is not a bad role. It is actually a very good role. You will actually enjoy it because uh, the most of the time that you will spend is talking with people, talking with the stakeholders. Your networking will be very. It will be the best in all the roles. You can directly talk to your clients and stakeholders. And okay, I hope that answered. Darshani first. Okay. Um, Resume we need to make. Okay. Specifically, if you just mention that you know any object-oriented programming language like Java, Python, in you might know that Hack with Infi website or portal. You can apply there. Even now, there are many openings in different portals like Naukri. I'm not sure. You can contact me directly for that also. I will find it. And I think the best resume you can showcase in these service-based companies is that you know a language and you know a database, DBMS basically. You know a database that you can work with. Okay, welcome. Can I build a career in these fields without focusing extensively on DSA? What is DSA critical skill for these roles to get first job specifically? Okay, Farhad, see, what happens is that uh, you know the job market is very competitive for a fresher specifically. After 2 years, it's no problem. You can switch easily. 2 to 3 years you have to spend in one company and then you can switch like anything. But for a fresher, it is very competitive because they don't know what you know. Honestly speaking, they usually train freshers for in almost every company. So DSA is one of those things that you can confidently show that I can learn things very fast. So DSA is actually important, but for data engineering specific roles or data analyst roles, it is not important. You can get it more easily than the software engineering roles as a fresher without DSA. Okay. Does every organization have to collect their own data or can they buy it from other companies? Okay. I think This question means that they're buying data from for uh, what kind of data are you asking here? Is it any random data or because yeah, just clarify me this. Do full stack developer okay? Are they more safer than front end developers which rely on UI UX more compatibly against Gen AI? Yes, full stack developers they are more future proof. They will be a better choice, but you have to learn a lot for that. I think for full stack developer you have to know both front end, back end, and a DBMS, a database. So you can go with many stacks for that, one stack, mid stack. But full stack is better role if you're willing to go with that path. Okay, if I initially learn Java and DSA in Java, then can I go easily in data analytics? But Python is necessary. In data, as a data analyst, you don't need Python. It is not mandatory, but it is good to have. And I'll be honest with you, if you already know Java, then Python you can learn it in 4 or 5 days or 1 week because the syntax is much more, human friendly. Okay. Any goal specific data? Okay, okay. I get it. So I think the question is uh, there is a company, they have a certain goal, like they want to spread into a particular city, for example, and you want to know how many uh, people drink tea there, for example, there's a tea company. So yeah, they definitely buy data for that. That's how we get free things, right? As customers, company Google, for example, uh, or any company for that matter, they are getting our data and they are. It's basically business model. Like, we can't escape from it. Okay. Any other questions? Do they collaborate or purchase deal? Okay. So Tarun, actually, both happens. Uh, so when a bigger company it wants to have a different company into okay, let's just take Elon Musk for example. Should we? Okay. So he just bought Twitter, right? So he did not buy Twitter just for the brand. He bought it for the data also. And many big companies they buy small companies just for their data and insights, business insights. Okay, what skill we need for internship in data analysis roles and some tips related to internships. Okay, if you want to have an internship in data analysis roles, then I think you should go with SQL. SQL is like 35% of any big data uh, tech stack. You have to learn SQL and you have to be very good at it. Like till Windows functions. Uh, I might just search it for you. You have to know. You might have already heard of average, max, min in SQL if you know DBMS. Then these are mostly asked in data engineering specific roles. Okay. Yeah, actually, if you want to get internships, there is one small hack, but it doesn't work every time. Just, for example, just imagine a company it posts an internship job. They will give you this role. Just get some projects of that role, specific role, and show them in your resume. In the interview, also try to show them that I already made these that you're hiring for. So they will be more happy to give you that role because they also nobody wants to spend so much time getting somebody hired. They want to make it as quick as possible, just like you guys, just like us. Okay. Is Web3 a more of a market gimmick or is it really growing industry? Uh, Actually, this is conflicting. This is actually controversial because I've seen many of my full stack friends. They're saying Web3 is the future, and they showed me these Web3 websites. which was actually very mind blowing to be honest with you. But I think after some time, Web3 might be included in all our daily laptops and websites, and we might not even notice it. So I don't think it is a gimmick, but um, to specifically target for Web3, I don't think it's a wise idea. You should target for full stack or role specific. Okay. Is it legit to purchase or sell the data as there are some constraints by data?